My name is Mackenzie. I met my husband through a mutual friend, and we got married in our mid-30s after dating for a few years. Hey, I have a deadline tonight, so I might not be home until around 8. I'll whip up some dinner now, so feel free to start eating without me. Got it. But you don't have to cook now. I'll make it and wait for you. Take your time with work. Thanks, that helps. No problem. When you get back, let's watch the movie we recorded on the TV together. 2 years into marriage, my husband helps with chores, living a smooth sailing life. Despite that, we've never had a big fight and are happily married. Though we're content with just the two of us, I've always wanted kids since we got married. But perhaps due to age, conceiving has been tough, and I often find myself crying alone in the bathroom. Every time I hear about a classmate's pregnancy, my anxiety grows. Hey, I bought wine today. Let's have some together. Sure. You've been buying a lot of alcohol lately. Are you starting to like it more? It's not like that, I've just been in the mood for it lately. Even in my exhaustion, I didn't give up hope and used alcohol to encourage my husband, longing for a baby. I wondered if my wish had been granted. One morning, feeling nauseous, I rushed to the hospital, fearing the worst. Just to be safe, I took a day off work. Yep, you're definitely pregnant, and I can hear the baby's heartbeat. Really? Yes. You're 3 months along. Everything looks good. I couldn't hide my joy and listened to the doctor's words with tears in my eyes. I can't wait to tell my husband. Overflowing with excitement, I bought some things to surprise him on the way home. I wonder if my husband will cry tears of joy too. Maybe we'll embrace and celebrate together. Arriving home, my mind was filled with such thoughts. Finally, in the evening, my husband came home. Wow, that's fancy. What's up? So you noticed. This is a present for you. Open it up. Doe, that's nice. What is, wait, pregnant? Yes, but why that face? Aren't you happy? That's not it. Whose kid is it? I'm infertile. What? Of course it's yours. No, it's not. Just give me some time. From then on, things became tense between us, filled with uncertainty. Then, a few days later, Mackenzie, I want to discuss something with both our parents. Both our parents. Can't we talk about it first? No, we'll talk then. Tomorrow's Sunday, so let's do it then. I'll leave the location up to you. I quickly confirmed with both sets of parents, and the next day, we had the discussion at my parents' house. I couldn't sleep a wink, overcome with anxiety as the day arrived. What's going on all of a sudden? Well, haven't you heard from your daughter? Apparently, your child is pregnant, but it's not my son's child. My parents were stunned. I can't believe she'd cheat. I thought we were such a happy couple. Wait a minute. I really didn't cheat. What's going on? Our son is infertile. There's no way it's his kid. I told you that a few days ago. If we get a paternity test done, we'll find out it was cheating for sure. Well, not that we need to get one. Unable to comprehend the situation, I was being blamed and couldn't defend myself. Then suddenly, my mother slapped me in the face. Surprised, I looked at my parents, both giving me cold stares. Even my husband and in-laws were looking at me mockingly. Being scolded is only natural. You don't even apologize. Sorry. I apologize. You should too. Sorry. That's right, you should apologize too. Wait, that's not you. No excuses. I'll get rid of the kid from your affair. As I puzzled over the false accusation of infidelity, my father rose to kick my belly. I crouched to protect it. Dad, please calm down. Let me explain too. My sister, who had been listening outside, burst in. Thank goodness. Thanks for coming. Get out. Stop intervening. I'm also family too, it should be okay. But before that, I overheard your conversation. Is it true that he is infertile? Yes, it's true. Are you doubting us? No way. I just thought evidence would smooth things out. When was the test done? An infertility test. We didn't do any. None. How can you be so sure without a test? Why sound so threatening? A test wasn't done, but it's true. May I ask why you're so certain? Afterwards, my mother-in-law sighed in annoyance and began to explain the reasons. I knew you would be skeptical, so let me explain. My son got the mumps in high school. It was tough at that time. He had a high fever near 104 degrees Fahrenheit for over 4 days and was bedridden. So, he became infertile. Got it. This time, I was able to find out that my son was being cheated on because he's infertile, but I shudder to think what would have happened if he had continued to be silently cheated on. What a filthy woman she really is. Even without kids, I thought we were happy. This is terrible. Becoming pregnant even though I was infertile. This is an insult to me. Hearing my mill, I couldn't grasp a reason. Does mumps lead to infertility? Besides that, without tests, how could they be sure? Unable to formulate an argument, I looked to my sister for help. Seeing this, my sister nodded slightly and spoke again. So you are saying that you had orchitis from the mumps, is that correct? Oh, orc. What's that? This is a question for you, isn't it? You answer. Me. No, I really don't know what you're talking about. Both of them were clueless, and of course, my parents and I were just bewildered. My sister asked again, in that confused situation. If you became infertile due to mumps, I think you would have been told at the hospital at that time. But it seems I was mistaken. Did your testicles swell when you were bedridden with a high fever back then? No, they didn't swell. What's going on? You've been asking all these questions. Yay. You keep bombarding us with questions like you're blaming us. Who are you anyway, calling yourself family? Neither my mother-in-law or my husband remember my sister, whom they had met at the time of our engagement, and my sister seemed quite taken aback by that. After promptly introducing her as my sister, my mother-in-law started pressing her harder than before. You're not a doctor, so stop interrogating us. It's annoying. Both sisters seem to lack common sense. I am a doctor, actually. Huh. It seems like you have forgotten since our first meeting, so let me reintroduce myself. I'm a urologist at the largest hospital in the next town. My mother-in-law and husband seemed surprised when they realized that, too. My sister, seeing their reaction, smiled faintly and continued speaking. As I mentioned earlier, having a high fever can reduce sperm count, but it doesn't mean it's all gone. It's just for a few months. It's not permanent. What? Just a few months, and it only decreases. Many people misunderstand. But simply having a high fever doesn't make you infertile. It's a big misunderstanding. Of course, there's also a small chance, about 20 to 30%, of becoming infertile if a virus enters the testicles and causes epididymitis, as I mentioned earlier. But it seems your case was different, and even then, it's a low probability. I see. Thank goodness. So, Mackenzie's child is mine, right? Still, it might be a good idea to get a thorough examination done. After receiving the explanation, my mother-in-law didn't say a word out of embarrassment. Thanks to my sister, the situation calmed down, and my husband agreed to undergo the examination. Mackenzie, I'm sorry for doubting you. I'm relieved it's my child. Please forgive me for this incident. As my husband and in-laws left, my husband kept apologizing, but I couldn't say anything. I was speechless with shock. My sister told my husband that she would take care of me for a while. My husband reluctantly agreed, and finally, my husband and in-laws left my parents' house looking embarrassed. It's because of your misunderstanding, Mom. I heard about it from someone. And besides, it's an important matter, so you should have researched it properly. As they left, they argued, making excuses for themselves. What's with those two? Blaming each other like that, it's embarrassing. They were about to fool us too. They are nothing but trouble till the end. Yeah, right. They were shameful to the very end. What a nuisance. My parents criticized them, but to me, they were both in the wrong. Honestly, I couldn't afford to worry about everyone else, and I couldn't even listen to their half-hearted apologies. I must have seemed like an empty shell, unable to focus. Seeing me like that, my sister took me to her apartment, away from my parents' house. Mackenzie, we're here. Are you okay? It's small, but stay as long as you need to feel better. Sis, sniff. As soon as we arrived at her apartment, I felt relieved and couldn't stop crying. I must have cried for a few minutes straight. During that time, my sister didn't say anything and just comforted me, holding me close. no one believing me, the fear of being doubted and stared at with cold eyes. As the feelings flooded back, tears kept flowing like a child. Sis, sorry. Feeling better now. Yeah, thanks for being here. You helped me calm down. Good. Don't worry about me now. Thanks a lot. I shudder to think what would happen if you weren't there. But why were you at our parents' house? I had a bad feeling after reading your email. Coming was the right decision. When we decided to discuss pregnancy, I emailed my sister to calm my nerves. She came all the way to our parents' house because she was concerned. I can't thank her enough. It might still be tough, but we need to think about the future. You're right. Sorry, I'm still confused about what to do. It's okay. Take your time. Let's think about it together. Over the next few days, I had various conversations with my sister. By then, I had a clear idea of what I wanted. Just at the right time, I got a call from my husband. Mackenzie, I went for the test. No issues on my end. Looks like it's definitely my child, so could you come back? More importantly, I want to talk with both parents again. Let's gather at my parents' house like before. Please let me know if next weekend or the weekend after works for you. Got it. Shall we go back together on that day? Let's talk again on that day. By then. Soon after, I got a response from my husband confirming the family gathering for next Saturday. And then the awaited day arrived. Who's that? Oh, that's the lawyer. I asked him to come today. When I thought about my future, I felt the need for a lawyer, so I consulted one whom my sister had hired before, known for their expertise in divorce cases. Yes, I had decided to divorce my husband. Lawyer, isn't that too much? It's necessary. It's not just a misunderstanding. No, I want a divorce. That's why I asked him to be here today. Hey. Everything's cleared up, there's no problem at all. Divorce. After we finally get grandchildren. Yeah, I get your anger, but wasn't it unavoidable? Divorce is going too far. I'm against it. You're not getting a divorce. You really think we can divorce over something like this? Of course. Both of you unfairly blamed Mackenzie without any evidence, right? Despite assuming he was infertile, you kept it a secret from Mackenzie. It's important to Mackenzie, who wanted kids. Yet you hid it. Isn't that right? That's it. Frankly, I can't trust anything you say anymore. Mackenzie feels strong distrust toward your family after this incident. Isn't it natural? Mackenzie, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Too late now. I've been telling you all along, but you never believed me. I shouted with a mix of loneliness and anger. But my husband remained silent, perhaps unable to respond. Ultimately, despite both sets of parents resisting divorce, the lawyer managed to finalize it smoothly. We also settled property division and child support. My husband and mother-in-law left, heads down. I'm glad you got a divorce from such a family. Today's feast is on me. Yay, it was tough. So, where will you live? Sorry, but I won't stay in this house. You both sided with them without believing me, right? Mom hit me, and Dad even tried to kick me. I don't want to be involved with you. Leaving those words behind, I left the house. From then on, I stayed with my sister for a while. Actually, the decision to distance myself from my parents was thanks to my sister's encouragement. When she was young, she was wrongly accused at school by the teacher. Despite having the cram school stand up for her, our parents only believed the teacher's words and blamed her. Although the false accusation was cleared up just before exams, she couldn't attend the high school she wanted to due to psychological issues and ended up going to another high school. Our parents never apologized for that incident, and my sister still hasn't forgiven them. If something bad happens in the future, I'll always be a guardian for you. My sister said to me after I decided to distance myself from our parents. A few weeks after the divorce, I decided to meet up with a friend who had introduced me to my husband. I'm sorry for everything. I didn't know he was like this. Don't worry about it. It was our own problem. Thanks for saying that. Actually, after the divorce, he wasn't convinced and consulted with friends and colleagues. But because he blindly believed his mother's words and didn't get tested himself and kept it secret from you, everyone blamed him and no one supported him. It seems he finally realized his mistakes, but because he talked too much, many people are keeping their distance from him now. Honestly, instead of pity, I felt relieved upon hearing that story. Thanks to that, I felt even better and had a stress-free childbirth. Thanks to my sister's support, childcare after that went smoothly. I've been leaning on my sister since the family meeting debacle, and until the child is accepted into daycare, I'll be staying at my sister's apartment. Although this incident started with misunderstandings from my husband, leading to breaking off relationships with him and my parents, I have no regrets. And as a lesson learned, I decided to always support my child and listen to his words, no matter what.